Feel free to share yourself on social media where you're at tonight. Just a thought.
And my cousin's running for county judge in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Well, I wanted to say, and I'll do it quickly. I was very pleased that leaders of President Obama's administration went out to Silicon Valley last week and began exactly this conversation about what we can do consistent with privacy and security. We need better intelligence cooperation. We need to be sure that we're getting the best intelligence that we can from friends and allies around the world. And then we've got to recognize our first line of defense against lone wolf attacks is among Muslim Americans. And it is not only shameful, it is dangerous. And the kinds of comments you're hearing from the Republican side. We need to be reaching out and unifying our country against terrorist attacks and lone wolves and working with Muslim Americans.
Jacob, you said that the leaders from the intelligence community went to Silicon Valley, they were flatly turned down. They got nowhere.
That is not what I've heard. Let me leave it at that.
I need to talk about Homeland Security and preparedness. Ever since the attacks of September 11th, 30 seconds. Ever since the attacks of September 11th, my colleagues, Democratic and Republican mayors, Democratic and Republican governors, made me their leader on Homeland Security and preparedness. Here in the home, on my we're almost like it's your body's immune system. It's able to protect your body against bad bugs, not necessarily because it outnumbers them, but it's better connected. The fusion centers, the biosurveillance systems, better prepared first responders. But there's another front in this battle, and it is this. That's the political front. And if Donald Trump wants to start a registry in our country of people by faith, he can start with me, and I will sign up as one who is totally opposed to his fascist appeals that wants to vilify American Muslims. That can do more damage to our democracy than anything.
That's and I agree with what the Secretary said and what Governor Ahmad said. But it's an issue that we also should talk about. We have a $600 billion military budget. It is a budget larger than the next 8 countries. Unfortunately, much of that budget continues to fight the old Cold War with the Soviet Union. Very little of that budget, less than 10%, actually goes into fighting ISIS and international terrorism. We need to be thinking hard about making fundamental changes in the priorities of the Defense Department.
Secretary Clinton, this is the first time in this House that a former president could be elected president. You said that President Clinton would advise you on economic issues, but be specific if you can. Are you talking about a kitchen table role on economics, or will he have a real policy role?
Well, it'll start at the kitchen table. We'll see how it goes from there. I'm going to have the very best advisors that I can possibly have. And when it comes to the economy and what was accomplished under my husband's leadership in the 90s, especially when it came to raising incomes for everybody and lifting more people out of poverty than any time in recent history, you bet I'm going to ask for his ideas, I'm going to ask for his advice, and I'm going to use him as a goodwill emissary to go around the country to find the best ideas we've got. Because I do believe, as he said, everything that's wrong with America has been solved somewhere in America. We just have to do more of it, and we have to reach out, especially to poor communities and communities of color, to give more people their own chance to get ahead.
Senator, 30-second response.
Great ideas, Governor O'Malley, Secretary Clinton. But here's the truth. If you have an administration stacked with Wall Street appointees, it can accomplish very much. And here's a promise that I made. I mentioned a moment ago how corrupt the system is. Goldman Sachs, paying a $5 billion fine, gives this country in recent history a Republican Secretary of Treasury, a Democratic Secretary of Treasury. Here's a promise. If elected president, Goldman Sachs is not going to bring forth a Secretary of Treasury for a Sanders administration.
Bill Clinton's past transgression is, quote, totally disgraceful and unacceptable. Senator, do you regret saying that?
I was asked a question. You know, one of the things, Andrea, right, that question annoys me. I cannot walk down the street, Secretary Clinton knows this, without being told how much I have to attack Secretary Clinton. Want to get me on the front pages of the paper, I make some vicious of that. I have avoided doing that. Trying to run an issue-oriented campaign.
You didn't have to answer it that way.
Well, then if I don't answer it, then there's another front page, so it's yes. And I mean this seriously. You know that. We've been through this. Yes, his behavior was deplorable. Have I ever once said a word about that issue? No, I have not. I'm going to debate Secretary Clinton, Governor O'Malley, on the issues facing the American people.
Charles going to after this.
What constitution
Feel free to call in if you want to chime in about the debate. If you have Skype, my name is Vaccine Turkeys. Just call into the internet to
Hey everybody.
be connected to me.
Couple reminders. The bartender donated her labor tonight. She would tip her generously. Also, January 23rd, we're having that live streaming of the Transportation Workers Union Hall, which is down on East Pine. Come join us, it'll be fun. If you're not registered to vote, we do have voter registration forms, just to remind you. Also, the Tulsa County Democrats have a merchandise booth over here.
Our fearless secretary of the Tulsa Democratic Party is over there manning the food.
If you want a Bernie shirt, you can order a size. They have small, larges, and extra larges over there, so you can order your
Bernie
Bernie
shirts,
shirt
Bernie
on your
buttons,
size.
Bernie bumper stickers.
Also, donate to the national campaign. We had dozens of volunteers that helped us put this group together. So I would like to give a big round of applause to everybody that helped out today. You know, Liz helped decorate. Liz, where are you? I can't even see you. Anyways, I just want to tell Liz thanks for doing that. She wants to say a couple of things, so I'm going to let her real fast.
Hi, I'm Liz Wright, and I'm the Decorating Committee Chair.
And I want to thank everybody for their help and their attention to detail. As you can tell, we've had a great room. We've had 3 TV stations here, 2, 8, and Channel 23. So be sure to look for yourself on TV. And again, thank you so much for helping us. Wonderful. Give yourself a great.
Thanks, Liz. Is there anything I'm missing, Tim? Deputy, is there anything I'm missing? Oh yeah, sign up and volunteer. It's just a couple hours of your time, and will make a huge difference. Okay. And another thing, Ernie has given us the tools here in Oklahoma that early states are getting, so we can maximize our efforts. So if we have a dozen of you coming out for phone banking, we can call literally 2,000 people in a couple of hours, no joke. So there's some technology involved too. All right.
Sure, I'm still live. Then you can call in through Skype. You would need to call Vaccine Truth News, and I'm set up to hear you and talk with you. And you like the debate, you hate the debate, and you think they're silly, you think they're great, so go ahead and call in and give your 2 cents. Let's see here.
I just didn't understand points of differences.
It is back on.
We've learned a lot here, but before we leave, is there anything that you really wanted to say tonight that you haven't gotten a chance to say?
Don't say that word in my chat. I so want to go home.
60 seconds. We appreciate it.
There are so many issues that we haven't been able to discuss here. We have not fully discussed immigration reform. The number of immigrant detention camps that our nation is now containing. We haven't discussed the shameful treatment of the people of Puerto Rico or fellow Americans who get treated by hedge funds that are looking at our.
No, really?
We haven't discussed the fact that in our own hemisphere we have the danger of nation-state failures because of drug traffickers and Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador. I guess the bottom line is this. We are a great people and we act at home and abroad. Based on our belief in the Irish, our belief in the dignity of every person, our belief in our own common good, there is no challenge that is too great for us to overcome. Provided we move forward in these divided times, new leadership that can heal our divides here at home and bring our principles into alignment abroad. We're on the threshold of a new era of American progress, and I believe we have only need to join forces together and cross that threshold into a new era of American prosperity. Thanks a lot.
Well, Lester, I spent a lot of time last week being outraged by what's happening in Flint, Michigan. And I think every single American should be outraged. We had a city in the United States of America where the population, which is poor in many ways, and majority African Americans, has been drinking and bathing in lead-contaminated water. And the governor of that state acted as though he didn't really care. He had requests for help that he basically stonewalled. I'll tell you what, if the kids in a rich suburb of Detroit had been drinking contaminated water and being bathed in it, there would have been action. So I sent my top campaign aide down there to talk to the mayor of Flint to see what I could do to help. And I issued a statement about what we needed to do, and then I went on a TV show and I said it was outrageous that the governor hadn't acted, and within 2 hours he had. I want to be a president who takes care of the big problems and the problems
here at the cash bar.
What's right, and what I did, which I think is also right, is demand the resignation of the governor. Now, we are a great nation, and we've heard a lot of great